Let's now bring in political commentator Chris Cillizza, host of So What with Chris Cillizza on YouTube. I mean, Chris, this is like watching the NFL draft. I cannot recall a moment in time when the general public, not just political nerds like yourself, and I mean that lovingly, wanted to tune in.
Happy New Year to you, Markie.
You know I mean it lovingly. Wanted to tune in and watch, right? And had such a vested interest in what's about to go down today and the rest of the week.
Yeah, and I do. It's interesting, Mark. I think you're right, and it's interesting that Hegseth is the first cabinet nominee to go to. You know, I mean, it's a fate of timing, right? I think he is the one that remains, as Tom sort of outlined, I think, unanswered. I think he is in a better place in terms of confirmation today than he was a month ago, but I think the pendulum has actually swung a little too far to this assumption that, well, it might be tough and it might be uncomfortable, but he's going to be confirmed. You know, again, the margin is not huge. Lose 3 votes and that's it.
Right.
So I'm interested to see how he handles himself. Remember, when he was first nominated, his stance was sort of just dismissive of all these questions. And I think that didn't play with Republican senators. And so he did make some concessions about women in the military. He did make some concessions about that he would not drink if he was appointed to this. So he's made a few moves to be a little bit more conciliatory, and that's helped him. Let's see how he handles the hearings where he is going to face some really uncomfortable questions and a lot of rehashing of incidents that are just not great.
Yeah, he's going to be peppered today. I know those who have been, closest to him have told him, their biggest piece of advice is stay cool, stay calm, don't take the bait. So we'll see how he performs under pressure. How does it work, though, Chris, if he doesn't get the votes he needs? I mean, does Trump just re-choose and it's back to the drawing board, or what would next steps be?
Yeah, unfortunately for Pete Hegseth, that's exactly what would happen. Look, no one is irreplaceable, Markie. I think we all learned that at some point in our lives, and Pete Hegseth would learn that very quickly if, say, Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski and Joni Ernst and maybe one other Republican senator sort of privately said to Donald Trump, we're not going to vote for him. Remember, Markie, I think you and I were probably on TV talking about this I'm looking at my calendar, about a month ago when Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, was floated as a potential replacement to Pete Hegseth, right? So you are Donald. I mean, this is a lesson about Donald Trump, but about presidents in general. You're Donald Trump's guy until you're not Donald Trump's guy anymore. I think that these hearings matter hugely for Pete Hegseth because I do think there is a chunk of Republican senators, and I think it's more than 2 or 3, who are, let's call them undecided. I don't think they've said they've decided in their mind they're going to vote against him, but they have real questions about him because of his background, because of his lack of experience in dealing with an organization at this level. I mean, one thing that's worth noting, typically this job is like a 4-star general holds because they've overseen massive numbers of people in the military. Hegseth has served in the military, several tours, but he's never overseen an organization anywhere near this large. And so I think there are real questions there, which mean that the confirmation hearings actually matter. Sometimes these things are just theater. It's like the Democrats are mean to him, the Republicans are nice to him, and then he gets voted in. I actually think what he says in these hearings matter in terms of his chances of being confirmed.
I only have a few seconds left, Chris. Who else is on your must-watch list this week or in the coming weeks?
So, in the coming weeks, certainly Tulsi Gabbard and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the hearings aren't set yet, but those are the other 2 that I think are in I don't want to say real danger, but I would keep an eye on. This week, look, Kristi Noem is up. The governor of South Dakota is up for Department of Homeland Security. I know it doesn't get as much attention, but this is another one where if there was no Pete Hegseth, if there was no RFK Jr., if there was no Tulsi Gabbard, we'd be like, really, Kristi Noem to head the Department of Homeland Security? So I do think I think she's going to be confirmed, right? Barring some sort of, I don't know what could be worse than her admitting that she murdered her dog, but barring something else like that, I think she's probably going to be confirmed. But if you're looking for if you're a real nerd, Markie, and you're looking for even more, if the Hegseth confirmation hearings don't scratch that itch enough, Kristi Noem would probably be the person.
Well,
thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.